And with that, we're going to continue the conversation now. We brought in, of course, our political analyst, Dallas Jones, is here to talk about more of Donald Trump. So good morning to you. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
So over the weekend, Donald Trump says, hey, we pressed the reset button. This is the best week. But is that so? What do you think?
Well, I think that's yet to be seen. I mean, he's definitely trying to double back on some of his previous actions. We're not sure yet if that's too little, too late. I think the polls will tell us that before November. He's got a new campaign manager. He's got a new campaign team. He's, you know, all but removed. Well, removed Paul Manafort, his campaign chairman, and so he is trying to put forth the appeal of a new race, a new Donald Trump, a new Trump campaign. We'll see if that happens as time unfolds.
You know, we've also been reporting that Donald Trump, along with Mike Pence, visited Louisiana and some of the hardest hit areas with all this flooding. At this point, it appears he's talking to mostly white audiences about African-American voters. Would you say?
Well, you know, I've been a consultant for a couple of years now. I'm not sure that talking to white audiences about African-American voters are the best way to get African-American voters to vote for you. But it is a strategy. You know, the reality is that that one unscripted moment is one of the things that backfired in this past week. And so it's important, I think, as he moves forward, to stick to that script, because, you know, comments like asking, you know, what the hell do African Americans have to lose is not the best way to win that part of the electorate.
You know, the other thing you mentioned was he's been backpedaling these last couple of days. You know, he's kind of sort of apologizing for some of his comments, right?
Right, and it's necessary. I mean, Donald Trump is behind in the polls nationally. In key swing states, you've got some swing states that are now leaning Democrat that were in play before, and so the electoral map is what he has to pay attention to. And I think as part of the reset button, there are now folks around him saying, hey, you're going to have to rethink some of these comments.
You know, this late in the game, obviously, you want to have a strong foundation. In this case, he's brought in Kellyanne Conway. Do you think that this is the person that's going to turn things around for Donald?
Well, Kellyanne Conway has a long history in helping the Republican Party, Republican candidates appeal to particularly female voters, which is a demographic that Donald Trump is going to have to pick up some votes in if he's going to win the presidency. So I think she has a very distinguished record. She's an Oxford graduate. She's definitely smart in her own regard and knows the business, knows it well, has been around. So whether or not she can turn the campaign around, I think she's very well prepared to do that. Now, whether or not that happens, again, we'll see.
And like you said, yeah, I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Dallas Jones, thanks for coming in. We really appreciate all that insight. Tom, we'll send it back to you.